Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Ubuntu Lifestyle. This week we have very interesting guests and I'm so excited that you too have made time to join us as we go live and as always right on our all social media platforms that is YouTube, that is Facebook, we are also on Twitter, and we are here to enlighten you on something that probably interests you so much as well. Well, I'm not alone. I'm joined by Himba as my co-host. Good evening, Himba.
Good evening, Lawrence. How are you? And
I'm very much fine, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Looking so beautiful as always, huh?
Oh, thank you. I'm so humbled. You look nice too. I'm sure I'm Lambert man.
Okay, now bringing on our guests this week, we have a duo that has come so much on the in the limelight because of videos that they make and always talking about umufyashiwa mano. That's how they call the Republican president. And of course, they are the guys that have brought us the phrase FIMBA UPOKE. Whatever that means, we get to find out everything about what it is and how it all came about. There we are. We have Mr. Frank Zimba. Good evening, Mr. Frank.
Good evening, Lawrence, and good evening, Himba. Good evening, viewers, wherever you're watching us from.
Good evening, we're Frank. And it's nice to have you.
It's a pleasure.
And on the other side, the other half of the video is actually Mr. Miyanda Laiti. Good evening, Mr. Miyanda.
Evening. How are you, Lawrence? It's a pleasure to be on this show.
I'm not sure if we are so much humbled to have you and to have the complete set actually of the duo. Something that we hoped to have sometime last week and things didn't work our way, but this time around, as promised, the FIMBA UPOKE guys are actually in the building. Himba.
Thank you so much, Rollins. Mr. Frank, you're welcome once again to Lifestyle Ubuntu channel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm not sure if Himba.
Miyanda, you're welcome to the program. Before we go any further, may I please get to know and can we have the privilege, us and the viewers, to know who Frank is? Who is Frank? Who is Mr. Zimba? What makes Mr. Zimba?
Okay, I'm actually just a Zambian citizen based in Kitwe, and I'm a family man. Just a common businessman, and a good sympathizer for UPND. Actually, I'm an accountant by profession, and I run a small business here and there. So
fantastic.
So then, whatever I do, I run a business of knitting. So we make these uniforms for nurses, uniforms for schools, work suits, and all those things. It's a small industry, but here and there we are pushing things. So I'm basically I'm married with 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The firstborn is a girl; she's 9, and the gentleman is 3. And that's my beautiful family.
Fantastic. That's a very good background. It's good to know you. It's good to know who you are. It's good. And during your free time, what do you do?
Most of the times, you see that we watching football with my colleague, and sometimes I'm a social media person. I love too much internet things. I want to follow this. I want to understand what's going on around the circles of any society that is going around there. So most of the time, you see that if I'm not on social media, I'm maybe having my free time, like anything to do with politics. I love too much.
Oh, brilliant. That's very fantastic. background. Mr. Miyanda, let me come to you. Briefly, tell us about yourself. Who are you? What makes you? Who is this Miyanda?
Yeah, Miyanda is a simple guy born on the Copper Belt, Chingola. Yeah, but educated in Lusaka. I went to Lusaka Boys.
Oh.
From Lusaka Boys, I went to a school called Kafushi High School. I did my first secondary grade there. Then from there, I went to Mukushi. I left Mukushi in grade 12 because of some issues that I had there. So I completed my grade 12 at High Ridge. Then from High Ridge, I moved to the then National College for Management and Development Studies, where I studied social work. So basically, I'm a social worker by profession, with vast knowledge in community mobilization, proposal development, and project management.
Wow, that is very rich background,
Yeah,
rich info.
so from there, I specialized in HIV management, where I contributed to a number of designing of a number of projects. By the way people are mocking us with our FIMBA UPOKE thing is the way my colleagues and I were mocked and laughed at when we were talking about door-to-door VCT somewhere around 204.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Thank you so much, Miyanda. Thank you so much, and we are so blessed to have that information and get to know about you. Frank has already alluded that you watch football during your free time. He has already said, what do you do for a living?
After a successive 15 years of practice, social practice, I got fatigued because you do the same thing. You are designing proposals. You are in the community. I decided to do something different from social work. So then I went into business. So I do business. I run a restaurant in Kitwe, and I also am into partnership with my brother from Chingola. We do construction. We are into construction and just basic construction, steel structures, warehouses, and all. So, in a nutshell, I'm a businessman.
That's very interesting and very exciting. Lawrence, will you please come in? Lawrence, are you there?
That's
Lawrence,
actually,
are you there?
yeah. I'm actually so happy to hear about Mr. Laiti, who is into construction. Something that, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're able to hear you now.
Yeah, I'm there. Himba can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think for me on my side that I can't hear Lawrence.
Hi, good evening, gents, and good evening to our viewers as well.
Good evening, Mr. Banda. How are you?
Okay, good to have you on the program, and we really appreciate as Ubuntu channel to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, great. So, to our viewers, as the program has been introduced by my co-host Himba, and looking at what we are discussing this evening, talking about the rating of the economy. As you know, we have Mr. Frank Zimba as well as Miyanda Laiti, who are the guys that are behind the famous FIMBA UPOKE slogan, and of course from what has been talked about. First of all, before maybe we get also to our topic of discussion this evening, I would like to give you, my colleagues, at least a chance and a time to, more like I don't know if I can call it exculpating yourself, or maybe making clarifications to what has been going on social media, to say, oh, bafimba upoke apa na beve balema na new doni shanshani chone kamunga na beve bamba kuchoka. There have been those allegations that have been going on social media. Kindly make a clarification to that. Naimwe mwalema, or maybe ninkanya kutama mahaters che bafuna che to dent your name.
Firstly,
Okay.
we need to know how this FIMBA UPOKE was coined. We know, I'll be very open with you, Mr. Banda. These issues are very straightforward and they are very clear. With my colleague to counter lies. This was in the instance of the time PF would attack our president. We were, after forming government, we were a new government in power, a government that was literally without any experience whatsoever. But the moment our president would make a move here and there, it's either you see it on the PF pages, they were calling him names, Kamwendo Munjira, Vasco da Gama, Chakuti. They said a lot of things about Hakainde Hichilema. And apart from them saying that to the president, one of the things that they had make everyone that was supporting the UPND and the entire presidency like people that had no brains. Now, when you look at such politics, there's no way you can just do them in a smart way. The smart way would sometimes, no matter how much you have to reason, sometimes in life you have to reason. There are people that you can sit on the table and reason with, but there are people that you cannot sit on the table and reason with. No matter how much you tell them this is black, they'll tell you this is white. What they want is to make you look like you are not thinking. That's the position that put most of the people that supported UPND and the president in that kind of an angle. So we said this is not right. And acknowledging that even within the systems of UPND, the media system or the media section was too dormant. I would put it like dormant. So we had said, no, there's no way we'd be watching people mocking the people that voted for UPND, mocking the president and mocking the presidents every now and then. So we had to find out a way to counter lies. In an instance, somebody would tell you this president will, we were being told this president will not form government. He will not be president for this Zambia. He's a president Wangombe. He should go and rule animals. Those are kind of statements. But after he became president, immediately he was sworn in. These people start changing. No, it's like he doesn't know what he's doing. So even now, those are the lies they are telling people. So now, whatever he does, or whatever the UPND does, they are the first people in the forefront telling the entire nation to say they have literally done nothing. These people are just time wasters. These people have done what? So now, if somebody is saying this president will never rule, say, okay, our president is ruling now. And if you don't like it, FIMBA UPOKE. In other terms, it means it's to show and best. Bakaramba, I'll give you a practical example for Opotwaf Mishet. The people that have hatred Mutima, people with that burden from nowhere, no matter what you do, no matter how much you dress, this person will ever be demeaning you like you don't have brains. So I want to watch the coin that FIMBA UPOKE, telling them, even if our president doesn't look good, if you remember, Parapaka to post to our president, mocking the president to say he has got money but workers so he can't even buy shoes. He's not a fashionist. If you don't like his style of dressing, FIMBA UPOKE. You cannot force people to be dressing just the way you want them to be dressed. And you cannot force people to have, everyone to have your thinking as a mentality. Epa from FIMBA UPOKE. FIMBA UPOKE is not a brand or anything that has been designed to tell any Zambian, because equally we are also Zambian. My colleague and him and I are Zambians. So whatever we go through in this country, we go through with the Zambian people. So if Milimil is at a price of 150 in Zambia, 150 kwacha Zambian kwacha, I'll not buy it at 60 kwacha because I'm saying man, or because maybe I'm a sympathizer for the UPND. So that's why we designed it. We know for sure there are people that are quite jealous. They want to redesign the concept and no, our guys, they're mocking Zambian people. No, they know themselves all to land up. Miyanda maybe should even come in.
Before we go, Miyanda, Frank, before we go, Miyanda, I want you in your response to relate your response to
Okay. I think before Mr. Miyanda comes here.
Yeah, before Mr. Miyanda comes in, and therefore amushitererate FIMBA UPOKE kwaliko abalumendo bamo abali pamenshi abalelanda ati chikukole fwe tulalya bwino.
Okay, I wanted the I hope you can hear me this time around.
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Lawrence, we can get you. We can get you, my brother. Himba, you were saying something.
Abali pamenshi nde chokutwafuma abalelanda ati ifwe tulalya bwino.
Okay, also. All right, thank you.
Ifwe balelanda. So ine ndevwa sipusene pesa ilya video na FIMBA UPOKE in your own way. And I'm webene ba Miyanda munje ufo pusene.
Okay.
What is the difference?
The main difference here, Himba, is that I've told you, like I said in my preamble, I'm a social worker. So I'm a people person. Wherever you go, I'm known in Kabwe, I'm known in Lusaka. Wherever I go, wherever you go, people will tell you he's a people person. At my restaurant, if there are people that are suffering in Zambia and we are suffering in PF time as street kids, at my restaurant, I give Shima free of charge to street kids. I buy medicine. There's a lot of STIs among these street kids that you see. I buy medication for street kids. It's not like I want to blow my own trumpet, but this is who I am. This is who I am. So FIMBA UPOKE, if I thought FIMBA UPOKE was designed to mock Zambians, the people that are closest to me would have received a fair share of FIMBA UPOKE. What is FIMBA UPOKE? FIMBA UPOKE is a slogan. It's a slogan we designed specifically for stubborn people who at every given time want to use propaganda to punch holes in the achievement of the current president. Hey, these guys are gone now. Hello. Oh, you're back.
No, I'm
so
here.
I was saying,
Yes.
So I was saying, FIMBA UPOKE, it was a well thought idea. a well-thought idea. If it wasn't a well-thought idea, it wouldn't have turned the PF camp upside down. Their main game, we played to their game because we realized there was a gap that the UPND media team and the UPND themselves were leaving for them to be able to politic a little more. You know, PF fragments their audience. They know who to direct what at. So they were taking advantage of the first-time voters, making them feel guilty because every time whatever would happen, they would say, Tapale Komleya, Mwamuna President Mwavotere, Talemisa Kamana, just to make the first-time voters feel guilty. And it started working very well for them. So when we tried to explain what the president was doing and what the current government was doing, they would all the time counter by either giving more lies or mocking. So then we said we cannot continuously be mocked. And a number of praise singers, you know, we do not call ourselves praise singers. It's the PF themselves that started calling us praise singers. Then they moved to calling us useful idiots. Who called us useful idiots? This is a one-time a person that owned a very big newspaper printing company in Zambia. So he knows what to say to woo Zambian, to make Zambians think in a certain way. So we are called useful idiots. These are not small people that called us useful idiots. It's not small people that called us praise singers. They moved from there, they continued mocking us. Where it has reached today, Himba, they call us hungry praise singers. Isn't that mockery? They'll either be calling you hungry. If not hungry, they'll body shame you. They'll talk about your nose. They'll talk about your head. They'll talk about your chest. They'll talk about your pot belly. So you cannot survive or thrive in such an environment without coming up with a counter reaction. So FIMBA UPOKE is a counter reaction to the mockery that we have suffered for a very long time.
So you are literally in defensive mechanism.
It's defensive mechanism because we were pushed in a war. We were pushed against the war. So the only way we could defend ourselves, we realized of course there are a few reasonable people from the opposition that you would sit and engage with and reach an agreement, whether an agreement or not. But for some of them, you would be talking about, for example, you would be talking about CDF, and they will be saying, "Number to Kaladia CDF." You talk about free education, then they will be saying, "Number free education, but few mwalunda."
Number Miyanda. Ine kulika video kamuko natambie kuli bamayo abalepela advice atawe mlechita mlelanda FIMBA UPOKE mle kolesha abena Zambia apene tuli pali FIMBA UPOKE ati mle kolesha abena Zambia ni
mle kalifia abena Zambia.
So therefore if I want you to connect kale katamwaka mweneka video kali omuntu alelanda kwetuledya bwino
ilia video ya ifwetuledya bwino. Difference yabali abakwati tuledya bwino na ifwe yakwe bati balya bale ebale chitamoko abena Zambian mulandu wakwe bati bale ubwala bale nwani Hennessy, a very expensive type of beer that they were drinking. Today, the way other businesses are suffering is the way my restaurant is suffering. The high cost of buying meal is what I'm suffering in my home and at my restaurant. So how can I then come and say, so there's a very big difference. We are not, HH is not a kind of a person that will give you money for calling him Mumufyashuaman.
Okay. Thank you.
This is where we need to draw. This is why we need to draw a distinctive line.
You know, like that.
Just in conclusion, I'm saying the people that were on the boat That's a paid boat, mind you. It was a hired boat, and then they were celebrating, drinking, and of course saying Ngola Chula Lobe. We've never said Ngola Chula Lobe. Some of the people that are actually that are going through problems, we are going through problems together because we help people in our own personal capacity. So for that lady that made that video, Himba, when you see some of these videos, check the background of some of these people. Most of the people that have an issue with FIMBA UPOKE are people that were directly or indirectly benefiting from the loot in Zambia. From the loot in Zambia. Go to that same, go to the Facebook page of that same lady.
No, Miyanda, let's leave it there. Today it's about Frankie and Miyanda. It's not about that lady. It's about Frankie. We want to know who Frankie is. How did the two of you come together and say, okay, boy, it's a kumanepamo, it's a to Zambia Shabena Zambia, it's a to Chitefia class Shabena Zambia through education. How did you meet the two of you? And how did this idea come about?
Okay, we met at my restaurant. Frank was my customer has been a customer for a while.
Oh.
And actually I was his fan because he's been doing the videos for a while. So then this day he came to the restaurant, like to my restaurant, like he usually does. And we started talking. We started talking until it got to a point where I would advise on the do's and don'ts, what he could talk about, what he couldn't. But you know, Frank is a very emotional guy. So at times he takes it personal, and at times would vent out his emotions in some of the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would advise him to stick to a message, because he gets very emotional at times, especially when he's mocked. He has a lot of friends from the PF who go to him and say, but you keep supporting HH, but us, we are still holding on to big contracts in these mines, but you are suffering and you still say mano. So like that, you see him come out gun blazing, especially that some of the contracts some people boast about are not even straight contracts. So he will now come and say, Bali mukakepu fenangu chimofie. Mukakepu fenangu chimo. So I think the first video we did was a video when I'm a camera shy person. I never wanted to be involved in the video.
Okay, let's hold your thought. Let's come to Frank. Frank, Mr. Zimba. Yes. Emotional. Sometimes we must send a feed to personal. What is your reaction to that?
Amen. You know, Limo, when we talk about certain things, you know, at times, yes, I don't believe that acting out of emotions. Sometimes you make wrong decisions, but sometimes, even when you think through certain things quickly, so long as you do it the right way, I'll agree there. Is my colleague, like he had just said, I was doing some video, like I'd done the long way. Then later on, he was one of my best followers. He was following me. Every now and then I post a video, is there. So I got him unaware. And the video twachaileyo inshikulittinta ng'ombe n'abapinga n'abayima kwitafya omuntu pamanda 15 ero nomba bayidonsa bonse ichipani chonse chira chine batamfya bena Zambia ero chaidonsa no kupange choko pa social media. So I just said, Mona, we need to do a video. So we got away from his restaurant, then I got off from work. I don't know, mana twaikala somewhere, and we said no. Na ambisha pe video. No mwewa na kumwewa Fitureland. But when we did it, it was like out of emotions, but it hit the nail on the head. So sometimes ukulande chishinga kwa lwafi open bueno inashina ndi neho frank so well sunge vintu kumukuma
Okay. There's a time we saw you interacting with the president. How was it? How did he take it? How did you take it? How did you feel? Because you did a video with him. How was it?
Oh, he's a very flexible man. And you know, there are people naturally, like when you go through such moments, you know, you are nervous, the nervous system begins to break down and all those things. But for me, that moment, I'll tell you where I'm coming from, and I'm an elder in the church. In the African Methodist Episcopal Church, I'm an elder with a very big position at local church. And by mind you, I'm church, local church, local exhorters. I'm a preacher, by the way.
Wow.
So, yes. So when I was quite grade 6, you know how much traditional churches are. The first time I started documenting Kuntashi, I was very young, when I was in grade 6. So, you know, there are moments that make you with anxiety from nowhere, but I thank God because Narikulam Church, sometimes I'm in the presence of even bishops and those things, and all of a sudden you're told, Mwana, it is your turn up, and but you know, appreciate when a gift is given, you cannot change a gift in a man's person. So when we first interacted with our president, it was a moment because first time when we were called by the president to say, you are needed to State House. You know, but when we received the second call, this gentleman begins highlighting what to do. If you have fallen, we said, okay, that's not a problem. This is serious. So when we went there, we first thing, like he was saying, you have to prepare your mind. And when we went into the presidency, because it wasn't just a president looking at us, it was other grouping abantu bambia batashamu fiasho amano and all those people. Because these are gentlemen, I want to social media and TikTok, no? So it was an exciting moment. And why I say so, I did know that the president was very interested in our TikTok videos.
Wow, that is so nice. Miyanda, how was your feel? How was your experience? How did you feel?
Yeah, also I come from a church background. I sing in a choir with a membership of about 300 people. So standing in front of a group of people is not a very big problem. But then meeting a president comes with its own kind of challenge, because then you want to tell yourself, but your body will have its own reactions to the stimuli. However, what even made it easier was that the president has a sweet aura. There's just something sweet about him when you are here. Yeah, sorry? There's just something sweet about him. Yeah, he makes everyone that gets near him very comfortable. So usually he will watch your non-verbal cues and then pick whether you are comfortable or not. If you are not comfortable, he will crack a joke, make you comfortable. So just that day, he looked at me. He realized I was almost shivering. Yes. Then he looks at he looks at Honorable Obvious Mwalited and tells him, but you are photobombing. You are photobombing. You're not supposed to be in this photo. So as I was laughing, he realized he had made us comfortable. So then he came behind us, and that's when he whispered in our ears and said, I would love to feature in your TikTok video. Wow. So that's how we made that video.
Wow. That was fantastic, is it?
Yeah, so that was after the comfort levels had risen from 4% to somewhere, I would say 96.
Thank you so much, Miyanda. For now, let's go on the break. Let's go for the break. Before we go to break, Mwebantu, you're welcome in the studio to interact with our brothers who like joking, who takes real issues to make you feel comfortable, who makes our issues to be understood in a simpler way, in a jokingly way, in a friendly manner. Please, let's have the opportunity to come and interact with them and get to know who they are. You are welcome in the studio, or you can join us through the comments. You can use all the social medias we are using. Please come through. You are welcome. At the moment, we are going to break for a moment.
VAR yalanda ni handball. Va is B. VAR yalanda ni handball. Yes. Now ni penalty plus skele. Ala watu pera. Penalty. Plus skele. Ichipani chinga chali kwetama no chipani twatani. Chali ngiro kusha omuntu usikwete grade 12 chuma mkoserera shani. Ushatakwari umbiwa kweteko grade 12 nshibale batichi pani chose tapawo kwata grade 12. Echo bale kwatira ma 6 points yano ishibike fo yafu. Mama ma 6 points yakumena fye. Chi 6 points chapona fye. Kwati ni mana. Three papa ma 6 points. Imwe mule konke funde foli alanda tete mupote funde amaboko. Naomba apa tuafika pa 21 tulevota. Pa awe nipa Friday. Not if you are 21. Kainga mwanda 21. Kumu ngoti ni uri mwaka. Kaidi lesana tupele shuko kukwati. Finotreba, panotreba nipa Monday. Tuli kukwati. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday. Akasuba katande mono. Not kalaka ponwene nkusa. Akatande mono. Kalefu mabi akasuba ndipa polling station. Ine nkacherela 06. Tula mkuvota. Isen tuime chitinta ngombe. Tuime chitinta mwana mai. Tulange abantu kwa chindalama tashakwa tenchito. Nangu kwato tudalama. Ukwato tumachopa. Sana limutemwa sana alalinganya abantu. Ishi kukulingana nani na? Shabibinkana. Kwacha ndikabushi. Kwacha tulevote. Na chumvo vete finshunde mona filamba fieka. Yaba. Shani yuko halila. Fimba upoke. Lenya rapira.
Welcome viewers, and I hope you enjoyed that break we had. Miyanda, finish mwale tuwe mni video. What were you saying in this video?
You see, one of the things I like about HH is the reintroduction of order in the legal system. You know, where we are coming from a background where Kwale Baba Leyum for to be bigger than the legal system. Where what they feel, so people were not joking when they were saying ine gashakabe popa ballot takwakabe. People meant what they were saying because they felt bigger than the legal system. So what we are saying is, when the court rules, no matter your status, heed to the judgment, follow the judgment, and Of course, there are channels to air your grievances. But if the court rules and you are found wanting, at times it helps to accept and move on in life. There's life beyond being an MP. We saw a situation where people never wanted to, people made Zambians think they were being persecuted, when in actual sense, at some point I mentioned to say the opposition, at the moment the opposition realized one of their candidates did not qualify, in that they did not hold a proper grade 12 document. What they should have done was to replace such a candidate with a person that is qualifying, as opposed to testing the waters, where you know you are at fault, yet you keep on pushing. One of the reasons why Kwacha constituency was nullified was because the courts were not satisfied with the grade 12 requirement submission that was put before it. And that was the main bone of contention, that the person that, what do you call, there's this legal term, the person that that took the then MP to court, the main reason why the then MP, the person that took the then MP to court was, one, the person did not hold the requisite qualification that could be equivalent to grade 12. So when the court nullified on that basis, it was only right for someone to step back, maybe go and do your GCE and come back in the following parliament, as opposed to holding a pity party to make everyone think you are a victim and people are just stepping on your toes. So in that video we are saying you cannot, in Bemba I said, you cannot hold the hand of the hand of law. You cannot twist the hand of law, in short. So law is law. Yes, so shakalande pwati ine nganshiripo nishitapali. You know, there are people that have grown up like that feel without them, that feel indispensable. Without them, things cannot move. So one thing I've liked about Tumfiashu Amano is that there is law and order. Even himself had to obey a court order when he was here on the Copper Belt, and there was a court ruling. He immediately left the Copper Belt. And he stopped campaigning and went to Lusaka. So even himself demonstrated that he's not above law. He's not above the law. So that's the beauty about him.
No, but Frankie, naimwe. Finish muletwewa mdia video. Finish muletwewa. What are you telling us in the video?
You know, if you look at how we were thinking in that video, you cannot presume what your other person or the other person is. Yeah. No, but you know, these two by-elections, they are a controversy. Even up to now, there are people that feel the two candidates were already disqualified. Disqualified. This clearly tells you that there's too much porousness in the room of the laws that we have now. These laws need to be looked at so very carefully, because there's a moment we had done another video prior before Apangile, where we tried to explain the differences in Abamoli law, assuming this is just basic law. Because that law that what's disqualify was not a criminal law, it was civil law. Now, in an event that in the punch tombomba, naiva, elobantamfia, then the position is advertised again. We need the new manager here, or we need the shop assistant. And the same person who are there, with evidence that we want to know, it's okay to just reapply. That is exactly what we're trying to talk about. We need to redefine our laws properly. They need to be explaining to Zambian people so that they understand what laws are. That's where twice when some individuals like my colleague was saying, if I'm not on this ballot paper, takwakawama election. How dare you say that? Like law ya panganda pamobe, like it's me to control the law. You know? So it's like from inception, they knew exactly what they are going to do. That's why in life, certain sentiments to there are sentiments that we should never use in life. Do you know now from the Bible concept, kwalina prophet umo kasesemomu kalisa na Elijah. He did more wonders than a prophet. Elijah reached a point apa kovalesa tumwelesa barefo kunjipa abalwani. Ero na sharafe prophet ne kamwe bati kalafye. I've reserved 19,000 besides you. So limuturamuna kwa tilimbi ine panondi tapali winga chitefine tu chitefya FIMBA UPOKE. Mano kesa isa na wambia abantu wadabu afye kusa chitefya chaba unique. Mwana papa no panga mabala chitasha. That's how God preserves people. Lesata abulisha hapo talent and lesata sunga abantu ukula chisa depend papa individuals. Now, this is a clear indication whether you've got money, whether you have a position in society, laws should be applied equally. Inenga nindo fyanya, whether mwana wa mfyasho wa mano, the law should apply to me equally. Fika kuri urawile uri ku kombo ni kumbi kulia. Enanga na iwo musaru wa mkaka. Na nyewe nenga na iwo musaru wa fule ba mkaka. Yeah. Now, why should laws be applied in a different way? That's why it does not matter whether mkwate chopa, it does not matter. The laws will be applied equally. And our plea, if it kumono mfiasho wa mano fidato aleranda, alero shafye, he has let freedom muli judicial system. Today, our government does not interfere in the judicial system. Like we had seen, abantu na wana mkulala pa high court previously, to wait for a judgment, t-shirt 14 days. If you we had not seen cadres going to the high court or con court, no, doing all those tic-tac confusions, no. He had to let the judicial process be transparent as possible. Up to now, because of those things, this did not go well, and it is the law they developed. In fact, this president, when that law was being developed and signed,
we've got Ruben who just joined us in the studio. Ruben, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Himba. Good evening, Mr. Miyanda and Mr. Frank.
Evening, Ruben, Jeremy.
Yeah, Ruben, do we have any comments from the viewers, or do we have anybody who'd love to come in the studio?
We have some comments here, Himba. I think director can help us just to bring the comments online. Then we'll proceed. I've got questions actually for them for the guests tonight.
Okay, please go ahead as we wait for the comments from the public. Please go ahead with your comment or your question.
Okay. Sure. For me, I want them to return to the topic of discussion today, where we are looking at the economy. I know we've talked about how the whole FIMBA UPOKE came about. I want now to look at it from the time that the UPND took over government. How is the economy? Let me start with Mr. Frank.
Quite all right. Sometimes we tend to wonder and to understand a thing when we refer to things to do with economics. Now, therefore, in a simple basket where a common Zambian like you and me should be able to understand. Economy, Gatuleo pali economy ya chalo acho economy taili bwino economy na iba bwino. What do we look at? Economy tulero reshapari ama common commodities nangwa ama incentives ifsunga abantu if abafe common, are they affordable on the market? Because if panga economy, there are things to do like fuel, things to do like shelter, things to do like health, things to do like food baskets and all those things. Now, aya economy yeka nga twalalo shama drivers ya kwata abafule balensha economy. Number one, bafule bale ba forecast. Umuntu urensha economy nala mitwala pali economy ya panganda, the smallest unit. Umufya shuri onso wikere panganda. Eo tita determine economy y'abana. Takwabo omuntu uwapane beule kutita determine economy. The moment ukakwata omuntu ule tita determine economy yenu ukulya kwenu nangu wika shibonu pali lyenganda alefu mapaneba nishimushi wadu mwakula kwata ma problems. Because teshi bebuno wino abana mwaikana na bene. Teshi bebuno wino abana efyo balia. Teshi be nina ndimbi usunento shishukuru. Nina ni uchiteshi. So exactly what this president has come to do. This president understands various types of living to akwata. Kwa if you beka la murusaka tefyo beka la kuluapula. Tefyo beka la kuluapula tefyo beka la mkopa belt. Tefyo beka la kopa belt tefyo beka la ku imbiku northwestern. So the economy right now, as we are saying, or as we are viewing it, the economy is balancing slowly but sure. If at all the economy is not doing well, there are sectors, I can give examples like cooking oil. Cooking oil, yalifikirika 2.5, kalifikirika pali 170. Today the 2.5 container is going at 90 kwacha. Meaning, at least people can afford to buy a 2.5 container of cooking oil. So hii economy na ikwatama indicators ya rela ngukwa nish cooking oil yalabo ya pali hii stage. So the fiance economy inga balance economics inga balance at once. Like fuel should reduce at the same time. Maybe the food commodities should reduce at the same time. Mind you, certain things are not a determinant by us, like fuel. Fuel. Things to do with fuel are more dependent on the outside market because it is not us who produce those things. Now, if you have outside market, but there are things that we can control, like if you have a locally made in our economy. So basically, economy, yes, we are Zambia, looking at the inflation rates, looking at other sectors like GDPs, at least with the way things are going now and whatever money we are pumping, this budget year 2023, we've seen the economy should grow at least to a minimum of at least 4.2% somewhere there. So with the kind of people our leadership, for me, issue. So long as we have focused people in leadership, the economy is able to grow. Because when we don't have people our focused in leadership, economy tetikule. But as at the moment as we are talking, we are on the right trajectory with the current regime.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frank. At this point, let me welcome Mr. Mkelewai in the studios. Mr. Mkelewai, good evening and welcome to Ubuntu channel. Thank you for joining us. Please, you are free to ask a question or a comment. The guests are here and they will pick it up.
Chungulopo mkwai mwempalume
mkwai mwapoleni wa mfumu
totera mkwai iyo epashiri pakuleka. We do not be discouraged by anybody, whether from the UPND or from the opposition. What you are doing a tremendous job, because we are lacking information flow from the other camp, our camp, for example. Okay. So what you guys are doing on the Copper Belt or Zambia, the whole country, you have become so popular because of your response, your stance when it comes to people that are trying to negate the efforts of a president and the team that are trying to bring that have brought sanity and peace and tranquility on our streets. So we should appreciate that. And we love when you come out like that. And the way you are articulative, that's why I love this party, or I love this New Dawn government, because you guys are well enlightened. You speak from a well informed position, not filiababosa bambi. Muntu aya mukulanda ati ine 13 sepa ballot ine. If my name is not on the ballot paper, then itakuwa kabeyama election. Iwe. Who do you think you are? Who are you? Opo mwamona kutirati aba bantu aba balemona kwati ichalo chalisabe chabo because of ututu inotupia baba pele otobale fola otobale iva. They thought they are untouchable. So Mwandini, I don't have a question. All I wanted was to simply say, continue, do not give up. We are here. We will be supporting you. Now, if we will be starting your crusade. FIMBA UPOKE, Bale Poka.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkelevai. So we've heard from Mr. Frank concerning the economy. Let me come to you, Mr. Frank. Of course, you come and inform us wherever the government has done something good. But you also want a FIMBA UPOKE video when the government is not doing something. For example, there is an outcry now of farmers not receiving the fertilizer. I want you to pick it up from there, Mr. Miyanda.
Okay. I think the main problem I have with Zambian politics is that we politic when we are supposed to be finding solutions. When you look at the landscape of Zambia today, I don't know whether you are in Zambia, Ruben, but if you look at the landscape today, there are still places in Zambia today that are hard to reach. Just after maybe 2 days of rain, all the roads are flooded and you can't access such points. So I'll tell you that there are certain areas. It's not true to say there's completely no fertilizer. There are 5 companies that have been engaged to distribute fertilizer. Some companies, as we speak now, already have the fertilizer in their warehouses and they are distributing. We were in Solwezi yesterday and the person just randomly commented saying fertilizer takuli. Just within the environment we were, a transporter stood up and said, but I've been paid to deliver 30 trucks of fertilizer, Northwestern province. So what are you talking about? So what agenda or narrative are these people trying to push? They are trying to create a situation where Zambians should suddenly become angry with HH. And they want to make Zambia ungovernable. So there are about 2 or 3 narratives that they are pushing. One, they are talking about Insala, which Insala is imaginary. Which Insala is imaginary. Because Insala is predictable. If you don't work, you know tomorrow there will not be any meeting in your house. If you don't find a way of dealing with Insala, I'm not on a salary from the party structures. I'm not on a salary from the government. If I don't push and make sure I make money from my restaurant, my wife and children will starve. So I make sure I work so that I don't cry foul tomorrow and push my blame on leaders. So apart from that, they are also pushing a narrative of saying HH Nafirop deliver fertilizer so that they benefit. Of course, there are a few areas that where challenges have been faced, But we expect such things. Every season comes with its own challenge. These are simply teething problems that could be rectified in the coming season. But to project teething issues, to make them look like it's a very big problem, is where I have a problem personally. So it's not true to say there's completely no fertilizer in Zambia. Of course, there are a few areas where fertilizer has not gone, but there is sufficient stock in in these companies' warehouses, and they are distributing in phases.
Okay. Ruben, can we now read the comments, please?
Yeah, sure. If the director can give us the comments, so we can just go through the comments. Thank you again to our viewers for catching us live. So, Trival is saying you are looking so good. Well, thank you very much for that comment. Celeb Mushoke saying watching you from Kafue. Thank you very much, Mr. Celeb. Peter Eugene is saying good evening. Thank you for that comment. Okay, Lungu Kaira is saying economy is only healthy for those in good employment. Take note of that, Mr. Frank, and also Mr. Miyanda.
Okay.
Bruce is saying when the time, I think you say when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. Don't forget to pray. Okay, thank you very much for that encouragement. Do you have any other? Edith saying this is a great program. Thank you. Chibonda is following. Ruth Tamando is saying watching. Christopher is saying loving your courage. So there are people that usually are liking what you do. So Festus Nkole is saying following you from Chinsali. Thank you. Chinsali is also watching. Josephine saying finally I'm here. Okay. Yeah. So you can push in your question actually, Josephine, and we'll ask the team here the guests to answer that. Regan is saying, as for me, the economy is okay because it's the process. The only problem is the flow of information to the people on the ground or the common citizens like me in the compound. Thank you for that, Regan. Lamek is saying, no fertilizer in the country. Talk about that. Okay, Mr. Just from talking about that, we go to Johnny Mpundo saying, good evening, everyone. I'm enjoying the program. Thank you for that. Himba, I think those are the comments so far.
So can I tell the economy is only good to the working class?
Yes.
Kufuma mu 1991 chino echalo chesu economy yesu type ya economy ni liberalized economy, meaning amaka ya kuchita creating chito yaba muminwe ya private sector. So the power of creating employment, the government can only employ so much. The power of creating employment lies in the hands of private investors. Which investors were terrorized? Cadres moved from office to office collecting money from these same cadres. How then can you grow an economy in a country where cadres have more power, are given power to harass investors? So a number of investors left Zambia, and Zambia at some point attained a junkie status. Nobody could trust Zambia. So what is happening now is that our president is giving an image back to Zambia. This is why today, in an economy where us Zambians are complaining, their Masai is here, Mr. Mkerebai. Mr. Mkerebai, as we are complaining, Masais are all over plaiting hair. So the main reason is it's not true to paint a picture that there's no employment. What is the problem today? We have insufficient skills to sell as a service. Because employment, as an employee, you are selling a service to your employer. So the more you acquire better skills, the more you will be paid for offering a better service. So today, as we complain as Zambians, as we cry like the children of Israel, Maasais are making a lot of money just out of plaiting hair. Those are men, not even women. They are men.
300 300, 400, 150.
Yes.
Yeah.
As people are crying in Salah, today, the Maasais are making money. After they make money, they move to South Africa to create bigger saloons. The biggest challenge we have now is that we do not have sufficient skills. The president has noted that and has quickly moved to take money to the grassroots through CDF, which CDF is being used to fund skills development and skills training. So the other problem we have is mindset change. We got a call with Frank where a youth was telling us, "Nomba ifota tulediako CDF." This is a mentality problem we have.
Okay, Abopeni, Frankie, I want
just to conclude. Yeah, so it is the private sector that is supposed to start creating employment. I ran a restaurant today because the environment is conducive. I'll be able to employ 2 more. But before, it was very hard. It was very hard because cadres would enter markets to harass. They would grab 100 kwacha. So now, with this serene environment, you also other indicators that we are moving on the right trajectory, Himba, is that there's a very huge influx. There's a very huge influx of Ethiopians. So a number of people are being attracted to our economy.
Thank you so much, Miyanda. Frankie, welcome back. Kuli abalumendo babiri. Abale nabena bale chita FIMBA UPOKE. What is your reaction to that?
Himba, maybe before we do that, I want Mr. Frank first to react to the other comment that came from Reagan, who is saying the economy is okay because the only problem is the information flow from the government to the people in the compounds. I really want your quick comment for that, Mr. Frank. Do you see there's a lack of information flow?
Yeah, but I want to agree with him in as much as when certain things are being done from Chalo, that's why we have taken up that space as the FIMBA UPOKE team. Like Honorable Mkeleba just said, the problem that we have is Tapara let's explain whatever is happening and whatever government is doing. Ma policy in Shivale later. Ma policy in Shiva Babi Kileko. That's why you find abantu abali if you are paromutari mulio mshaba nefitule if you are bunkolanya. They are left out. So today ngamwasa mwana pa social media umuntu ushakwatane balale idishanya chawe fertilizer takuli bonse bala sumina. Mama nine. But go to the villages ukasanga wena obale bati takuli fertilizer wena na wapo komfundo. So the flow of information is very important. Information is power. Kwali barabantu bashaba informed. They make a decision from that informed point of view. Mukasango kwati no what somewhere I'll give you an example, a narrative that I'll begin asking aba mifundira tini black ni banani. Ema question remote for the because kwali wa ishibe weta wa ishibe elwasa kwati ni black wamba nokusumira ticha black. No mbabala bashali informed na lelonga bamko biba tini black tabapita mu school ile kindergarten akakutari kati bufi the blacky. Why? Because from an informed point of view. So what we need now is to disseminate information as much as possible. So we are employing the UPND media team, the entire government system, UPND, to go and give information as quickly as possible so that abantu they are living in an informed world. Like he's saying, that one I can be more even on the technical side. Ngatualolesha economy. Economy, like I said, more technical. Economy is based on two things. Economy is based on two things. It's only measured between production and the consumption of goods and services and the supply of money. So there are only two things involved there: the production part and the consumption part. So ngapai searching it's me to determine it's me to determine what we should be eating in that 40 kwacha. Banga for 1,000 infleto ekala munga dayashana economy. I'm trying to bring it at a smaller scale level so that people may begin thinking, because basically production and consumption. The problem that we have is that most of us want to outlive our means. That's why to realize that economy taidi bueno. But that economy, my brother Ruben, I will agree with you. Watch Landa comment that new information. Niba abantu barefokora n'obwaro wa mtengo nga ines n'abana pa bot. But bapanga shinga. Awe never barefokora pa bot bano obwaro wa 6,000. Basonkere nganda 30 pin. Ero nomba wawe never require expense. Tabapanga kona 100 yo in 100,000. Yakutsa live within those expenses. So that's why any good economist move yash fiori once, because you're able to live within your means. If I'm getting 500, inganda yashinga nala ikalamo muri 500. I still remember batatabarenje bati imona mune bomba ko installe fola kama 800 para yashita to 800,000. Ero nomba tule bati inokupate tingu. Batatawasa bati garden boy mfolecha pano panganda afola 300. Bachari kwa tanaba na la sunga tachula. What is your problem? So I began thinking, it's because to focus outlive our means. Can we start living?
Thank you very much. Now let's revert back to Himba's question. We've seen another team of that are also doing the FIMBA UPOKE videos like you. So we want to know what's your reaction to that, and who is the genuine between the two groups?
Yeah, the two tests.
Your question, at who's genuine?
Yeah, so I'll take that question. So to us, that's feedback that what we are doing is very effective. So when there's a good brand, when a good product like a phone comes out and the fake is produced, then you know the original has developed has consumed a very big space in the market, a very big market space. So we are not bothered by people that are trying to copy what we are doing. Original will always be original. And coming to the other section of your question, maybe we can leave it to them. Bring them on such kind of a fora and interview them. Then you'll be able to know who they are and the substance they carry.
and you just like my colleague has said, Himba, Ruben, life ine na eronale kulaine muklasi ngana tuikala ila feeling ya kuzala teacher, this one is copying yali isuma sana anje bukisha kofie iya kwati na uikala na uchitane mboyo so ne buku lidiapo uko muna kofie omuntu kukopera so yale umfuika fineti kashi kwa wana wafuku nkopera You know, that feeling yakwati ndi wamano ine nali umfa wino sana because nomba paero na monika wamano if kai pambale bati if you could if puba if you shakwata uche momwe na mwali upa you know those kind of sentiments nomba na samona fyaba leranda fyaba le nkopera apa na shawama ndaishtira ama ice cream ndalya mukumona ndi wamano kai to abana umfyashi wamano abana.
Yeah, so in addition, again, you find that those guys first started stitching our videos. Even the followership they have on TikTok is stolen. They have no content. They started by stitching our videos. Every time we produced a video, they would make a duet stitch. So every time people saw a video of us, they would follow them. That's how they made their name. But as Zambians, we need to get to a point where we are not enemies. We are not enemies. Those are young boys that can learn a lot from some of us. Like we told you, Frank is an accountant, I'm a social worker. I understand communities like the back of my palm. So Frank is a figures person, I'm a people person. So the messages we design are designed, we identified the gap. What made us start whatever we started doing is that we identified a gap, which was not, we identified the gap, and so the message we designed, it is designed for the unreached. Those people that cannot afford a newspaper on a daily basis, those people, Bwana Mukelalai, that are not able to, even yourself, you cannot read some of the articles these journalists write. You just read one paragraph and conclude whatever they are writing is basically what you feel is going to happen. So we identified the gap and identified an audience. So the messages we designed are designed for that 65% of the illiterate Zambian. So no wonder FIMBA UPOKE will not make sense to a person like you, Bwana Mkalabai, because you are educated and you don't understand what sells in Chiwempara and Chingola. No wonder you find that in this same Zambia, the people you call celebrities in the categories of celebrities in Zambia differ. The class of celebrities in Lusaka is different from the class of celebrities on the Copper Belt. Do you agree with me?
We
so
don't
care.
No,
I'm not mentioning names, but I'm telling you the way people look up to certain people and call them role models.
Yeah.
On the Copper Belt, no matter how well spoken you, how articulate you may be, they will not call you boss until you produce 100 kwacha. Copper Belt people are like that. The people they call boss are people at times that cannot even write their names, but they produce results. So there is a specific language that is taken serious on the Copper Belt. So the messages we design are for particular people that have no time to read articles, they have no time to sit, because the reading culture, mind you, in Zambia is very poor. Apart from that, the same 19 hours news that you want to listen to.
Thank you so much, Bamiyanda. Actually, Bamiyanda, thank you so much. Actually, I had the wrong impression about you. Now, Frank. No, but it's like I'm changing per program. Frank.
Yes.
That is on a lighter note. May we please have a short break, and then when we come back, we conclude our program because we are running out of time. IT and director, over to you.
Ili ashiri pama social media ponsa pava ntuma WhatsApp group ushe FIMBA UPOKE nishi FIMBA UPOKE ni brand yesu yotoa panga fye ine n'omunandi babiri twapanga Fimba Upoke okula kita countermalize abantu ababufi ababepesha obuteeko na president
ni campaign against corruption n'okusupport omufyashi w'amaani muri campaign yakwe iya corruption
and developing chalo to another level
ichalo nokumukoselesha okumulumba fira nama players omuntu ngali mu ground alo mfwa bwino kati abombe
ebyo onse bola nga mulete nga tabale kulumba tawakala tene chimwera so mwana wa muntu ala kusukulu ale parikari le bare butuka kumulumba echo batwera
afye umufyashi wa mama kumute mwafye na vision yakwe
because is a visionary man ichi mono chakwe twalifwe
twalisanga nga lero ndolola tula mumfwa nomba kuliko bamu abantu abemine takwabadde na nguyimo ero twayimya Fimba Upoke twayayika katika ku UPND
nokuyipatisha twa UPND
sende muleyibomfya
bantu abamuchipani abamona abayite
mwafya andi mukulumba kwabo mukubomfya Fimba Upoke bayibomfya nga shield kulibala abantu aba batumfya tabala ndati ndebomfya Fimba Upoke mwishina ya UPND nipalu abo fye because aba bantu ninshi balebombere fyo mwebene mweba mu structures mwali balekeresha mwaleko kubasuka amafoni
bambi balabantu mwache mu bilista muyako
basangwa ati tabakwete information yako asuka omuntu ulera ndati mufyashi na afirwa takomba lero so omutengo wafiwewo nabalunda
tapali ulelo ndorora wayo umutengo wafyo wile pamulu
tapali ulelo bonse
pali baba forera kwa baba structure
kwali baba fora mu structure na mu offices ya pusana abalingiro kula londolola ififintu
tabalondolola
ifo twayimyafe lulu palwesu ukutemwa mufyashi wa mano because mweba bombe mwebwa ingishe enchito mwali mulekeresha
nomba ero muishi befeta twapa structure pali fonzi ngamrefu akaye nfu ayenishi na yandine ya mnandi tamwakalisa ngepa structure
na nguwa mu party fyo momwe winge
if we were UPND sympathizers
yes na nguwa mu party winge machala tuforesha ivwe
no tuforesha pafyo tuchita it's our own resources if tatuforera kuchipani
tatufora kuchipani takwaba na detwanya ntoluka sana ngu secretariat na ngukuisa mukufwaya
efya kuli yako awe
this is why tukwa kuli mwebene mweba mu structures tatulomba sympathy tatuya ku serious
nokula towa tawa balafu abachite disoni Fimba Upoke pantute brand yabo
mwana pa TV
how do you disown it which you have never owned?
In the first place, Fimba Upoke has never been owned by Ichipani.
Yes.
So why even be able to go and explain pa TV?
If we tulumbo mfyashi wa mano. And when we hear umuntu wale tuko mfyashi wa mano, President bala tukwa everyday bama social media pamphlet na mlama groups mwaba batu mwadikala zi.
Nefifulo fo mwaikati. You have access to media. Mweba mwabadi mistira nefya kubomfye fya bu media. Tamule bomba. In our personal capacity.
At Fimba Upoke ile onaula Ichipani kuisa.
Icha onaula Ichipani mwalile kwa asuka bantu amafoni.
Tamuya mubantu imwe.
Mwali ichita detach. Muno mukitwe muno. Twa onaula shani tuikala mukitwe. Twa onaula shani Fimba Upoke. Icha onaula party. Mwebene mukitwe muno na muchishi.
Mwebene na muchishi ba muka bwerere ni kubantu.
Bwerere ni kubantu.
Mwirabe pa abantu. Mwirabe ni kubantu.
Bwerere ni kubantu.
Atwelele ni kubantu.
No, may I say something on that one before they come in with their position?
Okay.
That you were, gentlemen, you were honest. You were very honest. My apologies. My son keeps on moving. I keep on switching off my camera. Can you move out now? Anyway, the thing is, what I can tell you is that truth hurts. And you know that many people are looking at you guys, some of the people, with the Zambian mindset, where when somebody is trying to do something positive, you always perceive or consider that they're after something. But it's good that you explained thoroughly in the language that everyone understands that you are not doing this for anything, any financial help, whatever. You are doing it for the love of the country and for the love of the person that you support. In this case, with the president. So you told them the truth, and it's good that you came out like that And me, I do not find anything wrong with that video or that audio where you responded. And from the time you started doing your campaigns or your retaliation, to me, that has been the most perfect platform. And you took an initiative. Zambia teaba social media weka ba Minister of Information or ba government weka. No, Zambia is for us all. And no one is more Zambian than the other.
Keleba, thank you so much.
So you did very well, and please do not. I know that by opposition, by PF, especially by PF, they found that as now fuel to start now spreading their propaganda to Mama Nanomba. They are now fighting. This is where you also make another video to challenge them.
Thank you so much, Keleba. And Shamsu react to that video. Your message is loud and clear. My question is, how do you want the Zambian people to remember you? And what do you want your children? What legacy do you want to leave for your children? And where did you get this courage? Because I strongly believe at the time you came out, it was when Zambia as a country, the situation was hostile to support or to come out like that. Where did you get the courage? How do you want your children to remember you? The Zambian people, mlefu ya wimbo nshtuka muindire. Ndio tambila na mwewa Frankie.
You know, abana kwali bachimwecho baba delegates na kumufyashi. Mukalamu na lyonso mufyashi ngalaisa panga ndali milai sana kapaseo. Limbia kapaseo ngakaba constant. Abana wakala ibishati wadadu wale tuletera kapai kena. Hai. Foba kulina mama in towns tule bukshawata wale sana kampung. Na koko ida milk koko. So no matter how much somebody will lie to me, this, that, I'll still remember Daddy always came with kampompo. Now, for me, in our personal capacity, we want Zambians to remember people that fought for them in a modest way of disseminating information and clearing that Zambia is a country for all. Previously, just even uttering a small sentiment, some of us have been victims of those victimization. Even a little bit. We had suffered in the previous regime. And because of those things, for me, I just thank God because courage. At some point I remember as far as 2017, na lililandile kwa fimofia kwa nalemba na article pa Facebook na bantu baisaba nensubambo kunkonka telling me this is wrong and if you don't pull this down to ala pakatuka efena kumanda kumobeliwe ukachimona. Now, surprisingly enough, abantu bale tuma sometimes would be people that would be abantu naishwa very much. Baisa febala tukana fiense and off they go. Imolesa chakubika na mu kanwa kankala mutashire kusuma. So, you know, when we survived that period and immediately we formed government with a new era, for me, it was a moment of reflection now. How do we do politics? Like my colleague had said, we are not enemies. That statement of VJ. In politics, we have no permanent friends and no permanent enemies. Whatever we're doing when it comes to politics, we should be able to understand and know we have no permanent enemies. We may be sympathizers, as they call us, but tomorrow, when we go in the communities, no, we go back to the same people to our community. We go back to the same people to our communities. And these are the people who are quite, like we had said, gentlemen, Guys, twala diashan, twala ikarashan up. These are the people that we want to remember us as gallant soldiers that we are fighting for advocates. We're advocators, in fact. Kind of what we show that we're praising us. Our duty is to advocate for good governance and could up all the rule of law.
Okay.
For a long time, to Ali Monasana, there was no order. So we're advocating for good governance and a good rule of law.
Thank you so much, Frank. Miyanda, in a minute.
Yeah, I want to be remembered as a person who spoke when brilliant minds, people with serious papers kept quiet. You know, Zambia has never been short of brilliant minds. There are people that are more educated than us, that can speak more organized stuff than we do. But maybe they at times want to speak, but they are afraid of what people will think about them. Yeah, so I want to be remembered as a person who did not care what people thought about me, for as long as I spoke the truth. And at times, the truth is subject. What I think is the truth might not be the truth with Mr. Kelabai, because it might be diluted by the way he thinks, what he believes in, and all. So I want to be remembered as a person who constantly, one, praised people who upheld the rule of law. Two, praised people who had a heart for the poor. The money today that HH has been trusted with to preside over belongs to the 18 million. What has been happening Kunumoku is a situation where this money will be given in the hands of a few families who then start taking droplets into poor people's mouths, and those poor people will praise these families. I want, after HH's rule, I want us to get to a point where we have another rich person like HH coming from the scratch because they've been given an opportunity to get quality education. So I think free education will be able to achieve that.
Thank you so much, Miyanda. Apopene, before tatulaya, nalami katapa mkoshi bonse babiri. I want you to talk to your audience. Filiamulanda babiri munika video. That will be our conclusion remarks. As we conclude, you talk to the audience. Filiamuaska na mu video. Before they close for us, do you have anything to say? And within a minute, I want them to talk to their audience, to the people, because namulondolola bwino at your targeted population nibali abantu abashumfu amadhayi chani bali abanesu balya abakwe bati ndefu nichekere niko kuli CDF. So hello bamukeleba ibalalanda na Ruben, in 2 minutes I want the two of you to communicate to them and say bye to them. Ruben, do you have anything to say?
No, it's just to thank the guests, Mr. Frank and Mr. Miyanda. Thank you very much for coming through and not just entertaining us, but also to giving us information and educating us. Thank you very much.
Amen. Under a minute.
Kale valika, lesami pale, continue with what you are doing. Do not be intimidated by anyone, because you are who you are, and you should continue with what you are doing, what is right. You are doing the right thing. So mutwali kishemwi wonfuila wa kulaland pa Zambia, you know how we are. We thrive through drama. We thrive through confusion. We create fyakulanda pamulomo. But when you have the right stuff and you are saying the truth, many people will be injured and many people cannot stand. Many Zambians cannot stand the truth. And that's where you come in, because you speak the truth and you speak without any prejudice. You say it plainly and in the language that everyone understands. And for that, you should just continue. We are here for you. We are listening, Mutwalikish, and we would love to see more videos of whatever is going on. Muchibemba, also Musambireko Nechironi. Please.
That's over to you, Frankie. Now, please communicate to your audience.
That's very good. Amazing.
Kanabesa, mwali umfefe alisika kumunse. Umuntu kuima, ukwamba okulanda ati awe abasungu baleisura ama farming blocks baleisura abasungu kanshi nishi chichipanikira echilanda fecheka pamakala ya skini echilanda fena pamitundu.
Ichi twatanja nchi problem. Mona fya tribe chipaniche kafya chimo. Ine nalene kilokwati na bambi bale landa kwali ine ya tribe. Nombo mwasanga muntu fyo wa muchipani otu watamvye ulelanda nokusaba ila kanabesa.
Nomba ababene kuti twabachetekera shani. Umuntu lero ese kulanda pabitundu. Kuti wamuchetekera shani
na Zambia.
Muntu mo winalandira tingana bwerera kula kuchipani ni shindishiru. So
ishinali pena ine. Awo ine echo kanabesa nende tote la fya bena Zambia. Tawavotera bapena kayembe bali tuwa tibali pena nomba tuchiteshana. Kuba nabakofi bali yango. Bali
akula ingisha umutundu umo. 18 by elections. 18 by elections. Yali created. Murandu wakweba tinaba kuchipani twatamvya bali bengisha machito.
Lero abo eba lesa baira nomba after babengisha bepwa nabana.
Lero that's why bena bale
FIMBA
bale kama 20,000 kubalanda.
Nombo mfyashi wa mano tapo kapo na kasanthi.
Echo first time yanjine kanabesa kumono muntu bamwingishe mchitwale elira. Shaki monapotira mofi.
Kai bamwele kwati mamirako.
Kai muntu alira na punch pa talala. Ero nomba basa mwingisha tafumishe kwa kadikonse.
So mwewe na Zambia mwira mfuira ababu fibara bachi fente.
Abene balanda tukana kwelera
kwa mpyashi wa mama.
Abene balanda ngana kwelera kuchipani national pena. So ifo tubebe action.
Awo kali bapene na kare busheni fofo bapenesha. Abena Zambia bala
balandire na kanwa kabo.
Echo nabatemenwa.
So ababantu tatwingiro kula bakosa kona mano.
Miyanda na Frankie, thank you so much. And twatotela kubana imwe kale balika. As you keep on educating the masses, especially the young people on the street, please educate them, especially on the CDF and how to apply for CDF. Let everyone be the partaker of this national cake. And thank you so much for granting us the privilege to be with you and to get to know who you are. Viewers, thank you for being with us on Lifestyle Program. Please make a date for us to meet with us next Monday. From us, Ubuntu team and our guests, not forgetting the IT department, we say bye-bye.